We think of ourselves as underpinning the social web. What's important behind the social web is there's an explosion of content out there, and that content needs to be managed. And Acquia provides commercial support for the open source product called Drupal. And I'll tell you a little bit about Drupal in a moment. Learning about that, I start with a story. Al Jazeera. Everyone in the room familiar with Al Jazeera, knows who they are? So Al Jazeera runs their English language blogs, their live blogs. That's a social web thing. The past blogs would have been static. And when traffic increased, you just had your CDN provider like Acquia, up the machines they're working and everything worked fine. With live blogs and dynamic content in the social web, the world doesn't work that way. You run into serious problems, and that's exactly what happened to Al Jazeera when the Egyptian crisis erupted. Their site traffic went up 1,000%, and they were unable to keep their servers live. So right in the middle of the most important events in their blogging history, they were dead. And so they called us up on a Wednesday morning and said, we're dead, we're using Drupal, help us. And we took their applications, which were based in typical, I'd call them hosting environments. We moved it onto our platform as a service offering called Acquia Cloud. And by 4 o'clock that afternoon, we had them scaled up, running, and efficient. And throughout then the rest of the Egyptian crisis into Libya, now Serbia and on, they continue to run extremely smoothly. This is a great example of using the cloud, the elastic capabilities of the cloud, to scale up and scale down. Really, web usage or social sites on the web are one of the best and most compelling uses of the elastic capabilities of the cloud. Just to give you, if you're not familiar with Drupal, some background in it. Drupal is an open source system founded in 2001 by Acquia's founder, Dries. We like to just call him Dries because if you use his last name, Bertat, you'll probably get it wrong. So just think Madonna and think Dries. And so he's our CTO and founder. We're based in Boston. Today Drupal is really changing the web. There are over 1 million websites around the world. Roughly 2% of the web runs on Drupal. And I guarantee you've been on a Drupal site somewhere, at some point in time in your life, whether it's whitehouse.gov. If you're a politician, it's March Madness on Demand if you're a basketball fan, or michaeljackson.com if you're a music fan, all Drupal sites. Drupal has over 500,000 members, arguably next to Linux. They are the 2 largest open source communities. It's a very, very vibrant open source community. Online, Drupal.org is where it's hosted, and you'll find lots of people out there doing things. It's a global phenomena. You'll find that Drupal is used around the world in many different places. So what does Acquia do? Acquia has monetizes Drupal in several different ways. We have a product which we call the Acquia Network. So if you're using Drupal somewhere and you want some help, you can subscribe to the Acquia Network. The company, we started the company because Dries wanted to believe that, he believed that Drupal needed a company next to it like Red Hat is to Linux. He said all great open source projects have a commercial entity associated with them, and that's really our mission in life, is to make Drupal successful and make people successful with Drupal. The Acquia Network is the first product that does that. It does have a number of cloud capabilities in it. For example, the application network that you see here has a number of tools from things like search. So if you want to do faceted search on your site, you can connect to our site. Or if you want to do performance management or monitoring. The second product is the actual platform as a service product, where we actually provide hosting called Acquia Cloud. We have 2 versions of it. One version which is the managed cloud. That's what Al Jazeera is using. It's also what United Airlines used when they merged with Continental. They came to us on a Thursday and said, we're launching on a Monday. We're expecting 20 million visitors to the site on Monday. We've done our performance testing, and it doesn't work. Can you help us? And, well, it was a good story. So on Monday, they had those visitors, and fortunately, the performance of the cloud scaled quite well for them, and they were able to serve their customers. That's a managed cloud product. It's completely managed. It's a white glove service. We recently launched DevCloud, which is for developers. It's a complete end-to-end service. Think EngineYard or Heroku for Drupal is what it is. Based on the same technology, all based on Amazon's EC2. And we launched in July a product called Drupal Gardens, which is software as a service. Makes it very easy to adopt Drupal. You don't need to know Drupal. You don't need to know how to be a designer. You can go in and create your website. The really interesting thing about this is it's something called open SaaS, which means that you have the ability to export not only your data on the end, but you can export your site, your designs, and everything associated with it. I'm going to skip that slide for time's sake. And whoops, I'm going to see the slide again. Anyway, you get a chance, go out and try Drupal. You can find it at drupalgardens.com. Sorry, that doesn't look quite right. You get a chance to try it yourself. I want to thank the folks here for the award. We're very excited about the future and look forward to seeing you later.